Welcome. We're about ready to do a new thing. Today is 4/4/18, April 4th, 2018. This is Easter week, and the alchemy of the process will certainly be experienced today, for we're about to do a new thing. And one of the messengers that we have in our Greek myths is Hermes, or Mercury. And Hermes Trismegistus is part of the GreenFire of today, and in ways that we don't even know, when we're in situations of total transformation, we may even adopt a new name, such as Will Wing It. So today everyone will become Will Wing It. And we're all hacky-sacking across a new dispensation. And that He is risen will certainly be the guideposts of this entire journey. In celebration and alleluia, for all of those, the least of these, the on a whim, the disenfranchised, the little people, those in prison, those in hospitals, those in nursing homes, those in HUD housing of the forgotten, houses of the holy, and all the little people, all the on a whim. That's every one of us in different swim in our life. And this particular swim will be with the turtle, and we're going to be swimming toward Terrapin Station. Today is Wednesday, April 4th, 2018, Wednesday of Easter week. I hope everyone had a really good Easter, a joyous celebration of Passover, Seder, and whatever tradition, spiritual tradition or non-spiritual tradition that you choose to celebrate at this time. The full moon of the equinox, the vernal equinox, the coming Wesak moon, the people who are all living in spiritual triangles in a triadic note structure of geodesic formation around this beloved planet Earth, this water planet, and all those whose affirmations hold this entire journey together. And may we bless one another in this electronic campfire called GreenFire. We all gather around and come in for the golden eternity of this hour to let our hair down and break bread and enjoy the pleasure of one another's company. And even though we had howling winds out here and below zero chill temperatures, even in April, and snowstorms and more howling winds and more 20 below normal days, this is the joy of the journey, and we're grateful to be here. This is a piece that came out of a dream, actually a sleepless night, based on artificial light intervening with the REM time, dream time, deep alpha states. So people, wherever you're at, tell those, whoever controls these artificial lights, shut the damn things down. We don't need all this fucking artificial lights. They're screwing up our biorhythms and our sleep patterns. So stop it, landlords or whoever controls the street departments. Knock them lights off. We don't need them. And they're screwing everybody up. So if somebody's irate or short-tempered, it may not be their fault. It may be because they've been having all this artificial light invading their sleeping environments and atmospheres through their windows and keeping them from having a deep and joyous sleep. So if you want some health on this planet, knock the artificial lights, the halogens, the LEDs, knock that shit off. You're not doing anybody any favors, and you're blinding everyone. So if you're in that business, go bankrupt. Bankrupt yourself. Stop selling these damn things. They're invading everybody's privacy. Everybody has a right to proper sleep. And these sleep patterns are important for creativity. So this came out of a night of sleepless because of these artificial lights invading my dream space. I got up like 3 in the morning in a total like funk, total despair. I wouldn't call it despair, but it's pretty damn close. It's just languishing in agony. So if you like people being languishing in agony, then that's on you, man. That's on you. And every light you sell, you're selling your soul. Knock it off. So this came out of a night like that, and then the next night was a night of dreams that turned into visions of traveling, time traveling, and also traveling into the stars, especially into the M45 Cassier, the Seven Sisters, and initiation. One initiation after another will unfold as we go into this. So this is, Jesus has rabbit ears. Being that Jesus was risen on Easter Sunday, the image of Jesus having rabbit ears crosses both the pagan and the Christian divide, cosmologically speaking. And Easter bunnies on Easter, and Jesus rises on Easter Sunday morning. So this is appropriately dedicated to the Easter bunny and Jesus. Jesus has rabbit ears. And even more so, Jesus can attune into the frequency right where you're at in a harmonic convergence. And the conversion experience that you have when Jesus tunes in on rabbit ears, you can see that it brings you up to a higher place. So it's not necessarily just a little whimsical muse, which it is, but it's also marriage of heaven and earth. Jesus has rabbit ears. And so with that, there's fertility in the mind. And with fertility in the mind, we can celebrate a new dispensation. The resurrection, all right? So Jesus has rabbit ears. It's Easter Monday, an overcast, dark, gloomy day. It's 3:33 in the morning. It's 33 degrees. And a cold, low-lying rain is reflecting off C Street in a low artificial light. It's these artificial lights that are killing our sleep. In an attempted soul invasion of deep alpha. Deep alpha is the state we're in when we're in fairly good sleep. We're not at the deeper levels, but in deep alpha, we're in pretty good sleep rhythm, biorhythm speaking. And in the low artificial light, it's these artificial lights that are killing our sleep in an attempted soul invasion of deep alpha. And this is intentional by the whores and masters of Babylon. The contractors, the developers, the apartment managers, whoever's controlling those lights, these people are paying rent. They have a right to declare and decide what they want in their environment. So they not only do they need to say, they need to run the show. They're paying the rent. They pay the freight. They declare they have a say in how things are running. So it's a new day for renters out there, whoever you're renting from, or even if you're paying a mortgage. You declare what kind of lights you have around your place. It's your say. You pay your way, you have a vote, and you have a voice, and you have a say. And you're paying your rent. They're not paying your rent, you are, so you're the boss. Get that in your head. And this is an attempted soul invasion of deep alpha, and this is intentional by the whores and masters of Babylon. Figure it out. Does it take a 2x4 across your snout? How about a full force 2x4 across your fucking forehead? These are the inner stitchings of the interstices, and they're all around. And we are suturing up the soul of the world. And these interstitchings of the interstices, they're all around. And we are suturing up the soul of the earth. Anima Mundi. This Anima Mundi, Monday, Wesak moon, the soul of the implicate, the soul of the Anawim wind, the soul of beginner's mind. And the turtle is beginning to swim up on Terrapin Station and spinning its geomagnetic magenta cartography right here on Earth. Terra spinning a new auroral display through the song of our Sami ancestors. A new dispensation this day, a new thing we are making, a new thing, a new dispensation. Thought formation, holy the firm, holy the firm, holy the firm. A new axial mundi here on full moon day, in a role reversal. In a role reversal, we can all play. We can all play in this role reversal. In this pole reversal, a polar shift day into a tectonics of mirth, where we can all play on this new dispensation, on this new earth. Into a tectonics of mirth, where we can all play. Ovid sparks of Pleiades are flying in for a new love in. Ovid sparks of Pleiades are flying in for a new love in. And the soul that is screaming out on this early day in the walk womb of gloom comes from those who like Christian bagels. In the walk womb of gloom, this comes from those who like Christian bagels. Anything with the Christian good housekeeping seal of approval. Anything but Christian. And the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And there is a hole in all of this. A black hole. A vortex. But no one can see it. The Goonies in D.C. are in a full-pitched fever to head off any progress in the headwind. The gale force headwind, where everything is in stasis, everything is in a standstill and appearing to move backward. The skillful driver steers clear of all of this. The skillful driver steers clear of all of this. And Jesus sees through all of this idiot wind and all of this idiot mind and all of this idiot kind blasting out of D.C., the black hole and the ovoid office. There are many levels of the cruciate played out. There are many levels of the cruciate played out. And on the surface, nothing appears abnormal. But because of this dark night shift of everything abhorrent is acceptable, because of this dark night shift where everything abhorrent is acceptable, everything is abnormal. So if nothing appears abnormal on the surface, it's because of this dark night shift where everything abhorrent is acceptable, so everything is abnormal. And everything is illusion. Because of the tincture of the during set loose upon the earth some 400 plus days ago, and this too shall pass. And this too shall pass, dear friend. And this too shall pass. For railroad earth is but a scream in the night in the temple of illusion. And the tunnel of the dream comes into full view. And it's a call to step down time. It's a call to step down time as if to land on planet Earth for the very first time. The stairs of descension are cleared in a skipping down the cobblestone manner. The stairs of descension are cleared in a skipping down the cobblestone manner, and several hundred are gathered in the dark lower room. And in the dark lower room, several hundred are gathered. And in the dark lower room, several hundred are gathered. And there are rumbles and rumors and voices. And there are rumbles and rumors and voices and sonic optics of optimism. And several of them self-select out. And several of them self-select out. About 40 of them. And we gather in the upper room, the cenacle. And we begin to go through initiatic processes, one template after another, which takes us into another temple of initiation, which takes us deeper into our stellar consciousness, our starry night wave of awareness, our holy other, our alter ego, our holy other, our gans andere, is waving to us in our starry night wave of awareness. Our starry night wave of awareness. The temple of our own commons, as our awareness of immortality washes over us and amplifies. As our awareness of immortality washes over us and amplifies in the emerald green eyes of Merlin. And we activate and move into another temple of our Applegate. Gate, gate, parasam gate. And the whole thing opens up. And we are at 1111. And the whole portal turns into a stargate. And we are taken in, and the healing begins as the Pleiades kindly bends to please, and the seven sisters guide us and wash us and direct us and bless us and clothe us. As Ovid sparks of Isis join us for this total dimensional, fully embodied love-in. This is the totally dimensional, fully embodied love-in. And the harmony and the music of the spheres is all around in this sensorium of delight. And we're taken into the Pleiades blue crystal temple. And we are taken in to the blue Pleiades crystal temple. As this is already well into the take-in, as this is already well into the take-in, as we are taken in to the blue Pleiades crystal temple. And Guni forces start to break in. And Guni forces start to break in and disrupt the baptism into the waters of eternal life. Then there is chaos, confusion. On the outer wall, a door is lifted up, and standing there are 12 8-foot tall biologists, merchants of doubt and doom, doubting each initiatic word I said. I confronted each and every one of them, these 8-foot tall Guni biologists, the merchants of doubt and doom, and I was asking proof for their made-up claims of dogma as science. Each and every one of them I did face and confront, each and every one of these 8-foot members of the Goon Squad. And they started to get smaller. And this really interesting, they just started to get smaller, and they started to get more distant, till only one was left. And I confronted him, and they all disappeared. And so did he. Disappeared. Became distant and then shrunk and then just simply disappeared. Afterward, I was in a kitchen with 4 women who held true and kept the vision. Yes, I was in a kitchen with 4 women who held true and kept the vision. The vision that the 60s flower children were indeed and truth the true Jesus people. And this is Jesus having rabbit ears, is tuning right in on this, because he's right in tune, and he can tune right in on you. And these 60s flower children were indeed and truth the true Jesus people. Some semi-erotic dances were done in the kitchen, in the joy of cooking. And some of the women said they really liked my ways, especially in the kitchen, in my moves, in my dancing, in my light-hearted nature. This is what the women were saying in this vision. Mysterious ways of sacred, sensual joy of the journey. The pure rainbow flower child, erotic, sensual, okay lust. And the Puritans dissolved and disappeared just like the 8-12 biologist dogma goonies of the Goon Squad. And here we were, pure rainbow flower children, in erotic, sensual, okay lust of acts of pure creativity and celebration of the ecstatic. And they danced their naked, sensual bodies sexually as affirmation. And these 4 women danced their naked, sensual bodies sexually as affirmation, as the true orgasm of hope, reality, gravity embodied the joy of the journey. And this was entrothed as a bridal veil of my truth, a complete victory of the hippie vision. I awoke from this vision, Odin's day of Easter week, totally empowered. Mary be, so mote it be. Let's keep on dancing. Keep on dancing in the free world. And you can only make it a free world if you're dancing. Keep on dancing. The universal dances of universal peace. Dance the Sufi way of the abode, the humble abode, the Shakti way, the Gaia way, the Wiccan way, the Druid way, the early Christian way, and the communes, and the Anawim, all over this holy beloved water planet. The holy good way of the Hopi, on a holy good day of the good red road, and the flowering tree of the most great peace. And as one would say, when we embody a new thing is happening this day, we have a new name. We'll wing it. In honor of Hermes Trismegistus, we'll wing it. And for all the Anawim and the Bedouin and the Hezekiahs and the Sephardic Jews and the Sufis and the Hindus and the Buddhists and the Jains and the Sikhs and the Chinese golden flower and the Tao and the watercourse way and the Hopi and the Lakota of the Four Corners way and the good red road of the great medicine wheel where the sacred hoops of all the nations are smoking the great peace pipe of the flowering tree of the most great peace. And as a person asked me when I was on the Great Peace March, what about the pearl of the most great peace, or the pearl of the most great wisdom? The pearl of the most great peace is within the sonic architecture of these words being shared here today. There's Sangreal. This is Sangreal. When the sword is pulled from the stone, Excalibur. And this is Excalibur. So we've come through, and we're holders, keepers of the vision now. These 4 women dancing their naked sensual bodies sexually is an affirmation as the true orgasm of hope. This is what Jesus is tuning in on, a sacred sensual dancing, the dances of the most great peace, and the pearl of the most great price are within the within of the Anawim, in the upper room, and wherever the dance is. The Lord of the dance is there. And the Lord of the dance is Pan. So this is the great Pan I am. You can pan in on that. Then you can pan out. Then you can dance the spiral dance of the most great peace, of the flowering tree of the most great peace. Within your heart is the pearl of the most great price, doing the spiral dance of the journey of the immense joy begins and activates. And this participates and it breathes right in through your membrane, through osmosis of your skin, your membrane, and you can breathe it in, this Anawim wind. Breathe in love, breathe in sensual dancing, breathe in sacred sensual peace, breathe in erotic orgasm of hope. Breathe in this erotic orgasm of hope and continual dance and stance and dance. Dance within the within. And this is Alaya Vijnana and Pratitya Samutpati. So this is trimorphic protonoia. These are actually Greek words in the mystery schools shared with you and within the joy of this sacred dance. A new thing is being made this day. And as we've adopted the mask in the name of Will Wing It, for Hermes Trismegistes, as above, so below. As above, so below. We'll now talk about love's living will. I wrapped my love in a red bandana and tied it to an old smooth broom handle. I packed my love in a cardboard copy paper box and covered it with crumpled newspaper. I secured my love in a black leather briefcase with a brass handle and an 8-digit code. I folded my love into a tidy clutch purse with a tube of bright lipstick that really wasn't my color. It has grasped and stuck like a blackberry bramble to the ragged denim cuffs of one person who paused too long. It has revealed first its shoulder, then its knee, then a bare arm from behind a folded screen, like an amateur and earnest burlesque dancer, and gasped and hummed when touched in that way for the first time and the 5th time and the 5,000th time. It has pulled one stone after another in front of its shallow cave and curled up into a ball with thick skin and sharp needles on the outside for what it thought was forever, and then been coaxed into swaying and grinning and showing soft belly, possibly courage, remembering what it likes by a person with sure hands and a sure heart. My love is one big, pre-Big Bang speck of dense, unfathomable mystery, held in a letter-sized white envelope with milkweed seeds, stardust, and surrender. I want, when this is all over, that these grains and sparks are tipped into an open palm and cast high to catch hold of a stiff breeze and spin out to swirling nebulas, to chase barn swallows, to lift the corn silk hair of a child digging a hole in the sand on the beach, and to find a few bits of yours to bump and tumble with for approximately eternity. This is approaching the honeymoon. So this is love's living will when the moon is calling. And when the moon is calling, which it has been seemingly all month, you see a new world. Through this moving energy of Lepus. The Lepus constellation is the rabbit. And Jesus is wearing rabbit ears, sonically tuning right in on your heart frequency, dear friend. I want to paint a new world. I want to paint a new world for our daughters, for our sons. I want to paint round women and thick men, brown women, black women, red men, white men, their faces splashed across freeway billboards, proud women, happy men, unapologetic women, bare feet men, tall, short, queer, straight, round breasts, long breasts, no breasts, huge chests, no chests, mohawk, afro, braids, ribbons, bald women, natural-haired men. Women who define their own beauty and claim their power. Women who think for themselves. Women who take charge and don't throw rage on unsuspecting, innocent bystanders. Who feel the world pulse in their hands. Women who hear their calling and walk with purpose and wander confidently too. I want to paint a new world for our daughters and sons in this moving energy display. Irikia. Irikia. And that is in this early time. And oh Maria, how do we care for a woman's voice? When a woman's voice becomes stadium-sized, becomes the squealing brakes of an 18-wheeler, becomes bomb blasts, chainsaws, and jackhammers going off simultaneously, shaking the walls because no one has been listening to her. Take her hand like worship, as attentive as ensuring the delicate edges of molasses cookies that do not burn, as alertly as staying in your lane at high speed, in heavy traffic during a rainstorm at night. Listen again here, dear friend. Listen in. Listen in real close here. To take her hand like worship, as attentive as ensuring the delicate edges of molasses cookies that do not burn. As alertly as staying in your lane at high speed in heavy traffic during a rainstorm at night. Receive her words like jeweled beads. Receive her words like jeweled beads. On silk and embroider them into your mind. Study and caress them. Brush away her tears of rage until you hear every meaning her words contain. Then recite them like a poem back to her. Sketch them onto bars of music until they make a melody. Paint them into hieroglyphics upon your heart. Cup them like water from a stream and drink until your throat aches for more. It's how to care for a woman's voice. Oh Maria, oh Maria. And these are the inner and the outer. The soul of the implicate. We have a great physicist named David Bohm, who was from Canterbury, and had these wonderful dialogues with the mystic, considered somewhat a world teacher, named Krishnamurti. And they had these dialogues at Ojai, California, and up in the Bay Area and elsewhere. And David Bohm talked about the implicate-explicate order. The explicate order is the physical world, and that was the outside world. The implicate order is the inner world, the inside world, the non-physical at times, the inner being world. And when we think about just as an invitation, think about the soul of the implicate. The soul of the implicate order embodies time that goes 9 billion years past, into light years past, into the farthest star that the Hubble has ever picked up just yesterday. 9 billion years. It's sent its light 9 billion years ago, and it's just reaching us now. We're receiving a light from this far distant star, that is Icarus, the far distant star of Icarus, that they have given it a name, and it was sent 9 billion years ago. So we're receiving light that's 9 billion years old from this star Icarus. So this is part of the living testament of living energy. When the moon is calling and we feel that energy moving through us, this is moving energy into a new world, a new dispensation. And on the brink and beyond, we move beyond the nuclear madness. We move beyond the nuclear age. And we're leaving behind the Cenozoic and into the first human co-created evolutionary spiral called the Ecozoic. And with the spirals of the spiral dance and doing triadic note structures of triangles with one another in meditation, we're doing light work, making an Indra's net across not only Aquaterra, this beloved water planet, but across this entire solar system, and this entire Milky Way galaxy, and across this entire omniverse. This is what we call light work. Our Lady of Insomnia, of sleepless nights roused awake by the sound of the rising moon. Dream, dear lady, dream. Our Lady of the last time I went mad, I understood all by my heart. I encountered Kali, had to choose between love and fear, that this heavenly state could stop. I felt so free and alive on my personal trip of trance and peace and ecstasy. The last time I went mad, I took myself wisely to the hospital. Then using it as an amusement park, refusing the prescribed dose, I danced down the floor till dawn to a silent music with my headphones on. The last time I went mad, I spent some beautiful hours with a red-beard cutie from the addiction treatment ward, fell desperately in love, and cut my hair short when we broke up the very next day. I swam in underwear to a boat asking the people if they had seen a guy with his name. The last time I went mad, I smuggled myself into a group of patients going on a trip. I spent 130 euros in a drugstore in 5 minutes. Watched a film that was, of course, all about me. So intense, I could hardly stand it. The last time I went mad, I fled reality into a world of dreams, limitless like the sky. They told me I was wrong, but it felt more right than ever. Wide and wild and leading to me, connected to the whole world. The last time I went mad, I got to know who I am and what I long for, which devils and angels dwell in me. I looked into the mirror, so I learned to be sane. The last time I went mad. And harmony is when you're out howling with the wolves at a full moon. So let us all be in harmony. And this is a time for both the burning man and the burning woman to arise. This is a call to the powerful people, the crazy ones, the mad ones, the witches, the hags, the mad hatters, the creative women, the dancers, the poets, the artists, the sexual men, the strident women, the playful tricksters, the wild men, she who follows her own spirit, she who dances to put herself first, who shouts in the face of authority and follows her heart, not their God. She who dares give voice to what is inside her, who shakes things up and burns them down. He who quakes with rage and rolls with laughter, who moans with pleasure and wants more. She for whom every piece of life needs to have marrow of its bones sucked. She who stands in the doorway and will not let them in. He who dares. She who does what they cannot say can be done, must not be done. She who tries and fails. He who longs to walk in the sunshine and dance naked in the moonlight. This call is for her, and this call is for him, and all of us who long to be more. Like her, wherever on the path we may be. We who have sniffed the smoke as she walked past our door one hot summer afternoon and thought, I long to burn, but I mustn't. I'm too afraid, too old, too young, too busy. I don't know how. I'd lose my job. My wife would divorce me. My mother would disown me. My friends would laugh. Our time has come. After millennia of hiding in the shadows, afraid of the smoke, afraid that our bodies and souls will be put on the pyre if we dare to show the glory within us. Our time has come to embody our burning, to step out in our magnificence. Burning woman, burning man, arise in the light, in the love, in the glory. Arise, burning woman, arise, burning man. And that is stepping barefoot in this early spring. Not yet, because we still have pretty close to 5 above chill temperature. May get down below 0 tonight, so we still have another week or so. But we're ambling in that way. We're ambling toward the journey, and in that place of the great tide rising, we'll have some antidotes to and little steps we can take to make it a better place for everybody. Give a little hope out here. 13 good reasons to save the world. 1, we must act for the sake of human life and thriving. This is as basic as it gets. If human life and thriving are fundamental values, if climate disruption will have terrible costs in human lives and prospects, then we have a moral obligation to avert climate disruption. There are those who deny the value of human life, arguing that the earth would be better off without the hominid plague, and there are those who deny the dangers of climate change. But if you value humans and fear climate change, there is no excuse for not acting. 2, we must act for the sake of the children. It may be their innocence, it may be their promise, children holding the future of the human race in their little bodies. It may be our love for them, or maybe it's just the driving force of evolution. The urge to leave something of ourselves to the world. For whatever reasons, humankind shares a universal moral imperative to prevent harm to children. But we are harming children, especially as we amass wealth to provide for them, destabilizing and denuding the world they will inherit. If we have an obligation to protect children from harm, and if climate disruption is manifestly harmful to them, then we have an obligation to expend extraordinary effort to prevent its worst effects. That's understated. 3, we must act because all flourishing is mutual. Ecological science, ancient wisdom, and almost all the religions of the world tell us that life is interconnected. Humans are shaped and nourished by intricate relationships with air, climate, animals, soil, sun. Accordingly, human life is utterly dependent on the thriving of other beings and the stability of other systems, and anyone who professes to care about humans but not about nature is profoundly misguided. If we have an obligation to protect human thriving, then we have an obligation to protect the thriving of all parts of the systems on which we depend, from the smallest ecosystem to the grandest workings of time and wind. We must act, this is 4th, we must act for the sake of the earth, its great systems, its abundance of lives. The failure to do what we can to stabilize Earth's systems, of course, is a great imprudence, a cosmic cutting off the limb you're standing on, stupidity. But it is also a moral failure. That is because the earth as we have found it, a lonely green jewel in the solar system, has value beyond its usefulness as the substrate of human lives. Sparrows and seagrass, newborn whales, and tons of krill, fish on coral reefs, lingonberries and bears, all living things. Could they have value only as they serve human needs? Only a colossal self-centeredness could lead one to think so. Rather, they have intrinsic value for their own sake. We have an obligation, even beyond our own interests, to protect a planet of inestimable and unique worth. Those 4 reasons to act on climate change is based on the consequences of acting or failing to act. But we're also called to act honorably regardless of the consequences. These are the reasons for acting that are grounded in our moral duties. We must honor our duties as stewards of divine creation. And it was good, God said it was creation, and it was very good. The fish of the sea and the birds of the air and every living thing that creeps on earth, all of these are good in the eyes of the divine. Imagine the fury and grief of the Creator to see his creation trampled under the march of human greed. To commit a crime against the natural world is a sin. Religious institutions and their believers have a sacred responsibility to protect divine creation from what threatens it. And the greatest of these threats are human-caused climate and ecological disruption. We must honor our duties to protect human lives. If all people have rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, then the perpetrators of climate change are embarked on the greatest violation of human rights the world has ever seen. Millions will be denied the most basic of human rights as they are driven from their homes, their homelands, their kith and kin, by heat, drought, or flood, threatened by thirst, famine, and disease, and undermined by upheaval and war. Denial of human rights is a crime on any scale in any legal system. So we all, corporations and governments especially, must end the policies that destabilize the climate, or to be held moral and legal account. 7, we must honor our duties to act justly. Those who are reaping the benefits of the profligate use of fossil fuels are casting off the terrible burden of their actions on those least likely to benefit and least able to defend themselves, future generations, poor and marginalized people everywhere, voiceless plants and animals. This is unjust. 8, we must honor our duties to future generations. The moral principle of do unto others as you would have others do unto you applies with particular force in the face of climate change we have unleashed on the next generation. Our own lives rest securely on the acts and forbearances of our ancestors. Like us, our children will need clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, food to eat, room to stand, and natural beauty to lift and comfort them. There are conditions of thriving that we minimally owe the children, and each of these is threatened by climate disruption. 9, we must honor our duties of gratitude and reciprocity. We did not earn this world. If it were taken away, there would be nothing we could do to get it back. The earth, its life, and our lives are a gift. The gift calls us to defend and nurture the regenerative potential of the earth, to return Earth's generosity with her own gifts of healing. As reasons 1 through 9 make clear, moral action can stem from a sense of duty and from a calculation of the consequences of acting or not acting. But when all is said and done, moral action stems from human virtue. Who are we when we are at our best? What actions grow from what is best in us? 10, we must act because we are compassionate. Compassion is the capacity to imagine oneself in another person's place, to feel their suffering as if it were our own. But innocent suffering is a currency in which humankind will pay the price of the reckless use of fossil fuels, suffering from disrupted food supplies, degraded habitats, contaminated drinking water, infectious disease, terrific storms, destructive floods. A compassionate person will not allow the future to become a plague of sorrows. 11, we must act because we love the world. Like loving a person, loving a place is a way of feeling, joyous, connected, at peace. But that's not all. Loving is a sacred trust. To love is to affirm the absolute worth of what you love and to pledge your life to its thriving. A person who loves this world in all its beauty and comfort will not let it slip away through indifference or preoccupation, nor betray it for passion for lesser things. It's all about love. Anam Cara. 12, we must act because we feel the beauty of the world. However it came to be, the world is a beautiful creation, astonishing, wondrous, awe-inspiring at every scale. To ruin the dark shores, living platonic lights, more glorious than any starry night Van Gogh could have painted, or to kill every tree on a mountain more awesome than Bierstadt could have imagined. This is not merely vandalism. This is a moral crime. A person who perceives the beauty of the world will protect it fiercely and faithfully. That's the green fist of GreenFire. No compromise in defense of Mother Earth. 13, we must act because we are the people of integrity. There may come a time when hope fails us, and it seems that nothing we do will make a difference. There may come a time when a sense of duty, and that time is about now, when a sense of duty fades in the face of exhaustion. When that time comes, what's left to us is the power and the joy of moral integrity, the truth force of Satyagraha of Gandhi, the soul force of truth, Satyagraha, the moral integrity. To act with moral integrity is to match our actions to our moral beliefs, to do what's right because we believe it's right, and for no more complicated reason. Through each and every decision about what to invest, what to eat, what to learn, what to buy, and what to refuse to buy, how or whether to raise children, how to spend time, and how to treat neighbors. We can make our lives into works of art that embody our deeper values. This list of reasons to save the world doesn't seem like an academic exercise. It's more like a prayer, whispered at the edge of a child's bed. We must act for the sake of human life and thriving. We must act for the sake of the children. We must act for the mutual flourishing of all life. We must act for the sake of the earth. We must honor our duties as stewards of divine creation. We must honor our duties to protect human rights. We must honor our duties to act justly. We must honor our duties toward future generations. We must honor our duties of gratitude and reciprocity. We must act because we are compassionate, and we must act because we love the world. We must act because we feel the beauty of the world, and we must act because we are the people of integrity. So these are part of the great tide rising of this day, and when we're creating something new. So we're going to do a quick billy on Jesus Has Rabbit Ears. It's Easter Monday, an overcast, dark, gloomy day. It's 3:33 a.m. It's 33 degrees, and a cold, low-lying rain is reflecting off C Street in a low artificial light. It's these artificial lights that are killing our sleep in an attempted soul invasion of deep alpha, and this is intentional by the whores and masters of Babylon. Figure it out. Does it take a 2x4 across your snout? How about a full force 2x4 across your forehead? Interstitchings of the interstices are all around. We are suturing up the soul of the earth. Anima Mundi. This Anima Mundi, Wesak moon, the soul of the implicate, the soul of the Anawim-win, the soul of beginner's mind. And the turtle is beginning to swim up on Terrapin Station and spinning its astrogeomantic cartography right here on Earth. Terra spinning a new auroral display, a new dispensation, thought formation, saying, "Holy the firm." And here on this full moon day is a role reversal we can play in. In this pole reversal, this is Polar Ship Day. Into a tectonics of mirth, Ovid sparks of Pleiades are flying in for a new love-in. And there are rumbles and rumors and voices and sonic optics of optimism, and several of them self-select out, about 40 of them. And we gather in the upper room and we begin to go through initiatic processes, one template after another, which takes us into another temple of initiation, which takes us deeper into our stellar consciousness, our starry night wave of awareness, into our temple of our own commons. Our awareness of immortality washes over us, and we activate and we move into another temple, Gate Parasam Gate, and we are at 1111, and the whole portal turns into a stargate, and we are taken in, and the healing begins as the Pleiades kindly bends to please, and the seven sisters guide us, and the seven sisters direct us and wash us and bless us and clothe us, as Ovid sparks of Isis join us for this thrice Hermes Trismegistus day, this total dimensional, fully embodied love-in, and we are taken into the Pleiades blue crystal temple, and this is already well into the take-in. This is well into the take-in. A door is lifted, and there we are standing in our glory, in the mysterious ways of the joy of the journey, the pure rainbow flower child, erotic, sensual, okay at last. The joy of the journey, the bridal veil of my truth. And here we are, a complete victory of the hippie vision. I awoke on this Odin's day of Easter week, totally empowered. Mary be, so mote it be. Happy Easter week. Enjoy this journey. Peace.